Good morning, welcome to the morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Friday the 30th of January. Okay, as we're closing in on the end of the month, the markets have consolidated somewhat over the last day or so. Looking at the euro dollar first, and we're still in this what's becoming more significant flag. In fact, in terms of 4-hourly point of view, it no longer really resembles a flag. The length of this consolidation now is no longer giving me the thoughts that we could get the continuation to the upside. That's not saying we couldn't, and the break of this trend line that's sitting across here, a descending trend line, could still see us move up towards the 50 and maybe beyond. As I say, very difficult in terms of it's been so choppy, and I think the best picture to show this really is the hourlies, where you can see for large periods of time we've been within range, slight push up and then chop, and then we're currently back in range. There is a slight chance we could see some downside from where we are at the moment. We've got the target of 113.17 just below us, so there is a chance that we could come down towards that area. Any sort of break, I mean, really I'm looking at this wedge here, the pattern that's on here, for an idea of direction. Otherwise, I mean, there are some possible shorter term trend lines on the shorter time frames, which could be used as a bit of a clue, but we could end up still being chopped up on it. So very difficult at the moment to determine the actual direction of this market. Looking at the pound dollar then. And not too dissimilar picture in terms of chop, and the dailies have summed it up. I've talked about it quite a bit. The pound can get into a situation and just chop for quite long periods. Have seen some more of a sell. Yesterday we saw more of a sell-off towards the afternoon, and it completely sold off right down to its S3 level. This morning's already been up, caught its daily pivot. It's now looking. It's reacted to that sort of area with the 21 moving average, 34 moving average, and sold off since. Again, not from whichever way you look at this, not the easiest thing to be reading. It has yesterday came down to its lower band test. Well, we'll see if we can hold up above that lower band on the dailies as with the euro, and see if it can push back towards the upper side of that and maybe push up further. But it's again, what was a bull flag yesterday is now sort of rolled over too far for my liking, really. It's not to say it won't change direction here. There is a trend line that runs right away across the highs here, which if this is broken, well, maybe we could see a continuation to the upside. But and not, as I say, again, a market not easy to read in terms of expectations, possibly erring towards the downside. Looking at the dollar yen, and yet again it continues chopping, but yesterday we saw an up day, so I don't need to say it. There's not much to say on that at all in terms of potential, but it's not something I will be trading. Okay, so let's just look at the dollar yen, the Aussie dollar. And yesterday saw it really sell off. It really got a hammering. There was discussions that there may be potential for interest rate reductions in the future, and it really just was a bit like the pound. Really, just sort of sold off quite strongly in the afternoon, through the afternoon, through most of the morning and afternoon. For quite a long period, we saw it just sell. I mean, it's sort of pretty. Significant lows now. It's actually gone off the tables when we start looking. I mean, it went through. Actually, it may just still be sitting around its monthly pivot. It's at monthly 200. Yeah, it's still sitting around that monthly 200. It's whether or not that holds. It's sort of pierced it already, but it may bounce from here. But as I say, it did go through it pretty strongly yesterday, and my thoughts are that it could just continue in that way. So coming back to 60 minutes, decider really is if it can get above its daily pivot this morning. If it can, maybe we could see some correction towards that 50 moving average. Got quite extended away from it, but when these markets sell, they can go, and it's I think the trouble with the Aussie is it's really glued to its trade with China, etc. So as soon as they seem to be catching a bit of a cold, having a sniffle rather, the Aussie's catching a cold. So there we go. Okay, not much else to say there in terms of news today. We've not got too news wise, so you've got the Euro zone flash CPI coming out at 10 o'clock. I think with all the action they've taken, even if it comes out particularly low, we're not going to see a significant movement from it. But we could this afternoon. We've got the US GDP coming out, and Canadian GDP, which is a monthly figure, which is less relevant. But the US GDP at 130, quarter and quarter, that will be a key number to be looking at. I would imagine, as I said in the weekly update, that the Fed had already had a sort of a preview of the expectation of that number, so that would have been built into the FOMC report. But that could be the generator this afternoon at 1:30. So aside of that, it could be quite a quiet one. Have a great day. Bye for now.